Hey everybody, I'm Katallina, and today we're here to talk about episode 2 of Demon Slayer Season 4. Today's episode focused primarily on the theme of survivor's guilt, which is a topic that could be really heavy and really difficult for some people to handle. Fortunately, this show actually did a really great job at addressing different situations where this was happening to people without actually going to a place where it was going to make it really hard for people to watch what was going on. In each of the situations that we have, first with Tamayo, then with Giyu, and then with Shinobou, we see different people dealing with the loss of different people in their lives. We also get a glimpse into some of Tanjiro's feelings that he still harbors over the death of Rengoku, and I found those equally moving. But before we delve into that, let's actually talk quickly about what they did at the end that really lightened up the tone for the major part, which was about Tanjiro and Giyu, which was the noodle eating contest. I love how, after going through all the effort of getting Giyu to actually open up and talk and deal with the pain that he's gone through, Tanjiro's empathy shines through in the fact that even though it might not be the perfect solution, he still wants to find a way to make Giyu actually feel better, and the noodle eating contest was a funny way to do that, and it really made me smile. Now, let's jump back and actually talk about each of these situations for these characters one at a time. First, we'll deal with Tamayo. We actually saw her being approached by one of Kageya's ravens at the end of the last episode, and we actually start the episode with that situation taking place again, only this time her apprentice, or the person who helps her, I'm sorry, name going blank, we see him running around and trying to deal with the fact that somebody is there and he's panicking and freaking out. It was great seeing that they were going to include his point of view because the bond between the two is incredibly strong. And it was really interesting to see the Raven go and to see Tamayo asking her student or apprentice or whatever to please help her get ready for this move, because for the two demons to do this is incredibly dangerous, and it must be very terrifying from their point of view, because while yes, Tamayo made a mistake when she became a demon, and I mean, by made a mistake, I mean she ate her own family. She obviously didn't want to do that and was horrified by it and has wanted vengeance against Muzan ever since. So her angle is very understandable, but she's not a spotlessly clean character either. And I'm sure her apprentice or whatever, again, name going blank, has his own stuff to deal with and has his own past that he has dealt with. So it was interesting to see them being approached by Kaguya's Raven and being asked to work with Shinobou. And it'll be interesting to see just what that will manifest going forward. And it was impressive to see Tamayo make the decision that she would actually agree to work with them, because, again, despite the fact that we probably assume that it's going to be reasonably safe for her to do that, insofar as that Kaguya is not somebody who's going to betray her or who is trying to lure her in and kill her or something. There is still tremendous risk involved because she is putting her life on the line to go against Muzan, and she is going into what her natural instincts would obviously tell her is enemy territory. Next, we should talk about the situation with Tanjiro and Giyu, which was really interesting. I like how they mixed a lot of humor into this, because the ending sequence and the opening sequence of the show were much heavier. They did a good job at showing what caused Giyu's pain, and it was beautiful to see Sabito again, because I really liked him in the first season. I know he wasn't around for long, but I really admired the impact that he had on Tanjiro, and I really thought that the story of him and the girl who helped Tanjiro was really beautiful. So to see the connection from him to Giyu and to see how that all sort of tied together was really something special. I really feel for Giyu. I can understand where he's coming from in feeling really remorseful and sad and everything that his friend died and he didn't, especially since his friend saved him, and one of the reasons that he ended up dying was because he went to go and save someone else. But the thing that Giyu needs to understand and realize is, first off, your friend saved your life, so the best way to honor him would be to make sure that your life is lived in a way to help others as much as possible, since that was what your friend literally died doing. The other thing that I would want to point out is the idea that this guy, Sabito, he died doing what he believed in the most. He actually died doing the thing that he valued, so while it sucks that he did pass away and that he was killed, he didn't die an old man curled up in his bed. He didn't die of some indirect accidental cause. He died literally doing what he believed in, and that is something that is important and that is noble and that should be remembered. Lastly, of course, we have the situation with Shinobou and Kanao, and this was actually my personal favorite part of the episode, partially because of my own personal interest in various aspects of Demon Slayer, but also partially because it was just done so beautifully, because Shinobou has been working with different things to be able to find weaknesses to demons and stuff like that, and a big part of the reason, of course, is that her sister was murdered by a demon. It's not just any demon that her sister was killed by, though. Her sister was killed by Doma, and Doma is an extremely powerful demon who has extremely peculiar and specific tastes. Doma basically only eats young women. So it was something where he obviously wanted the sister specifically for that. And as we go forward, depending on what they show us in the story, you'll see how everything ties together. But having Shinobou actually have a conversation with Kanao about everything that's going on, to me was incredibly moving, even though they didn't really spell everything out, because I just found it really interesting to see the two actually talking like mature adults to each other. I mean, despite the fact that Kanao is so young, but also to see Kanao being much more assertive and much more sure of what she wants and certain in herself. Given that when we meet her earlier in the story in the first season, she doesn't know how to make a choice about anything, and the only thing she knows how to do is flip a coin. So it was beautiful to see that she has actually gained so much more personal autonomy, because when I see a character who doesn't have that, I feel incredibly sad for them, and I'm just really glad to see that she is finding ways to stand on her own 2 feet and to become her own individual person. Overall, I thought that this was a super good episode. I really liked getting to see more about Giyu's backstory, and I really enjoyed the insights toward Tamayo and toward Kanao and Shinobou that we saw at the end. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they will actually do with this next. Will we get more with Kanao and Shinobou? I would love to see that whole aspect of the storyline drawn out in more detail. I'd like for people to understand what's going on. I don't want to say a lot because I don't want to ruin things for people who don't know the source material, but I am looking forward to seeing what they'll do with that. I'm also curious to see just how Tanjiro's training will go, whether we'll see more of Inosuke and Zenitsu, because I love them, and whether we'll get to see Tanjiro actually get to have some time with Nezuko, because while everybody is so worried and so busy about protecting Nezuko, it's very important, especially now that she's starting to speak, that we should get a bit more spotlight and time with her as a character, especially given that this arc is probably much more liberal in its use of the source material and probably has a lot more room for free range. So I really do hope we get some of that, because some more characterization for Nezuko would be excellent. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. If you guys have any thoughts on the current episode, feel free to drop a comment below, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!